We're coming in hot with inspiring guests, witty banter, and colorful commentary for today's veterans and military community. This is the Tango Alpha Lima podcast.
They call me crazy cause I'm facing all my giants. They try to scare me into thinking I can fight it. They tell me I should never even think of trying. But that's just me, I'm gonna live out in defiance.
Welcome back to the Tango Alpha Lima Spooky Edition. Well, we got Halloween coming up in less than a week, and we're going to be scary good today. And so I hope that you don't have candy corn, and if you do, you can send it all to Holly. Super producer loves her candy corn, which, quite frankly, I don't even want to admit that we're friends anymore because of this. Until after Halloween. You're dead to me till Halloween, but dead to me, she could haunt me. Never mind. You're a candy corn to me. Blech. Ashley, what do you think of candy corn?
Gross. Disgusting. I will cut people out of my life for their love of candy corn as I look at Holly in the screen.
And then the weird thing is,
people cut you out.
People who do like it, they want to offer it to people like it's a normal thing.
It's not normal. Hand me a Reese's cup, okay? Or a Hershey's bar, like full-size Hershey bar. That's what I want. Don't give me apples and candy corn. Gross. Gross.
Well, that was an apple, was it? What is Holly eating her candy corn with? Oh, peanuts. And she thinks it makes it taste like a payday bar.
You can't give those out for kids today. Oh, gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a plan for you. If you want a payday bar, they still sell those. There's no need for you to embarrass yourself by buying candy corn. All right, Holly, or not Holly, Ashley.
Hi.
What is your, I know you.
Uh-huh.
I know you have a costume of some sort that
Yeah.
is going to come out at the end of the week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So I love Halloween. I love having Halloween parties. I love going to pumpkin patch. It's about as basic white girl as I can get. I'm going to be real. Like, I really enjoy fall. It's fall, y'all. Okay. It's sweater weather. And let's be real. Halloween, I like to go out with my costume. So this year I am embracing the goddess that I am, and I'm going to be Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war and strategy, because it feels very encompassing for me celebrating my year of being amazing. So on top of that, I'm doing a secondary cosplay of Persephone out of Lore Olympus because I'm a giant nerd and I follow this illustrative comic, which I highly recommend if anyone's interested in that. But I will be full-blown goddess, and then I will be Persephone goddess. So doing two versions of it. Very excited. But that's my costume for this year. What about you, Jeff?
You literally have a costume change. Unbelievable.
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
In the melodrama that is Gorbuja life.
Oh, that bougie life. Oh,
Gorbougie?
the bougie life.
Can we call you Gorbougie? That is it. That's her new nickname. She's Gorbougie, ladies
Put
and
it on
gentlemen.
a shirt, ladies and gents. I want a hashtag. Gorbougie.
Gorbougie. You can put it hashtag on a shirt. You can order Amazon.com.
Good.
They don't sponsor us, but maybe they should. Okay, we're gonna get into this. I don't know if you know, this friend of mine working on content about ghosts being all around the American Legion. I'm not gonna even say the name because one day it'll spring upon you and it'll surprise and shock you. But one of the stories that Holly found me, I actually asked, do you have any stories about, hauntings and posts? She sends me a very Jeff Stouffer-like list. I had to scroll. And this is one I picked out. This is a Brockton Paranormal, 1,600 places you can visit this Halloween. I picked this one because I served with somebody from Brockton. Still don't know where it is. We didn't go there when we were in Boston, but I think it's in the area. And here we go. I'm going to try this. Maybe Jarek will put some kind of spooky music to it. Brockton. With its dark and haunting history, Salem has been the hub for Halloween lovers in New England for years. But it might surprise the ghost hunters and horror fans of Metro South to find out that there are plenty of haunted and otherwise strange locations in the Brockton area. Number 2, we're not going to read them all, obviously. Number 2 is the Whitman American Legion. Members of the Whitman American Legion post number 22, another building being investigated by MAPS, which was explained earlier in the article, are said to have experienced some strange happenings in their building. According to the MAPS report, heavy footsteps have been overheard in the attic. The hand dryer in the women's bathroom turns on by itself. The men's bathroom door opens and closes by itself. And the door to the bar was caught on security camera, opening and closing on its own. During MAPS investigation, the team got high EMF readings and a small scare. Lori Parker asked if an energy was present, could it please move an object or make a noise? Precisely at that time, the detectors spike and her camera tipped over on the counter of the bar with a loud bang, as MAPS reported in their report. So, yeah, we can cut the music now. The scary part's over. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have young children that were covering their ears, it's now safe to unearmuff them. The show's going back to normal. So do you have any, did that scare you?
I don't scare easily anymore. Nothing really surprises me. But in regards to safety, little fun thing that people probably don't know is that the American Legion has a Halloween safety program. So for anyone who thought Jeff's stories were too scary, know that in 1972, the American Legion ended up implementing a nationwide Halloween safety program for young trick-or-treaters. It was like, I guess, the first and one of a kind. Obviously, it's just, Legion doing things right. So it's since then it's a commission and now committee on the children and youth. And it's
their own committee.
I know. We got committees for everything. I love it. I want to be on the Halloween committee. Heck yeah. That's what I want. I want us to show up in costume, like full embodiment of the Halloween safety protocol.
I need to find out whose chair so that never happens.
Well, if anyone's interested in it, we do have a brochure that you can download. It's a PDF. It's available on our website, but I think it's entitled "Make Halloween a Safe and Fun Night." So it's just about keeping kids out of harm's way for Halloween. You can of course just, that's my random fun fact.
I think you need that brochure before you go to your Halloween parties.
What? No.
So you don't eat apples with razor blades or whatever else they come up with.
Yeah. I will consider the following, Bill Nye style.
Okay. Well, you don't have a post ghost story, but I don't believe in ghosts, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I stayed in Hotel del Coronado, the haunted section, and I pleaded, if there's anybody there, please come out. We'll have a chat. I'd buy you a drink, though you can't do it. But the thing. But at my post, there's a young lady. She's still in the Army, by the way, Simone Silva Lara, and we were painting the cabaret room, and she's talking to me. She's facing me, and my back is to the long hallway. She looks around me and goes, "Can I help you?" And I turn around and I come back and I go, "Who the hell are you talking to? There ain't nobody there." And she goes, "No, there was somebody just right there." And I did what no Black person should ever do. I'll go investigate. I've seen the horror movies. You don't do that. Like you die within 5 minutes of the story. So I go down there, I go in the women's bathroom and the men's the women's bathroom, by the way, is really nice. That's the first time I saw it. And I go down, I check it out. There's nothing there. And I go back to her and go, "There's nobody here." She had goosebumps all over. Like, she believes she saw it. I'm not going to say she was lying about it, making it up, trying to scare me, whatever. She believes that she saw it. And that's it. That's it. We don't need scary music for that because I'm making fun of that. But Simone Lara, you got a shout out on Tango Alpha Lima. Tell your parents and your future grandchildren about this moment. They may or may not believe you, so record this. All right. Any specific Halloween secrets for getting better candy or anything before we leave this?
Oh,
you have a ghoulish drink that you like to make?
I've always been a fan of like spiked apple cider. I always thought that it's very subtle. Like if you do a nice spiced rum with it, And then if you have like a really good like pumpkin, like a bread or an apple kind of fritter or something, a fall
You
pastry.
drop a plastic spider on top of it or something, right? You gotta make
What?
googly.
No, I mean, I have this beautiful old like glass punch bowl, and I'll usually sometimes do dry ice, so it looks very ghoulish. And
There you go.
There it
That's what
is.
I'm looking for.
There we go. That's my drink of choice for the
All right.
festivities.
Well, let's get into this. You want to know why? You want to know what's scary?
Ooh, but
Being in the batter's box with our guest
oh
pitching
yes.
at you, because he's scary for some batters. All right, today we're going to be joined by former MLB pitcher Steve Woodard. Woodard is an American Legion Baseball alum who played for Post 52 in Hartselle, Alabama. Today, Woodard is a TV analyst for ESPN, including the American Legion World Series on ESPN3 and ESPNU. We're going to be right back in the batter's box with Steve Woodard after the break.
If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. With passage of the PACT Act, the government is ready to be held accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Get your free case review. Call True Law at 833-686-4242, 833-686-4242, or visit justicecamp.com/TAL. Before seeking any legal representation regarding the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, make sure you speak with a Department Service Officer of the American Legion to better understand your rights. Raising money for your American Legion programs has never been so easy. Terry Lynn Fundraising offers customized fundraising programs, dedicated support, discounts and incentives, and premium products for your members to sell. We're talking delicious nuts, confections, and snack mixes that will keep your supporters coming back for more. You can see how simple and effective Terry Lynn can be to use for your next fundraiser when you request a free tasting sample at terrylynn.com/AL. Check it out and get ready to have the most successful fundraiser yet. Visit terrylynn.com/AL.
Alphas. We now here have a non-Tango Alpha Lima alpha. This is the Alpha Dog former starting pitcher in Major League Baseball, Steve Woodard. I see a cool background to you. I don't think you're in exercise in the yard in a prison, so it's probably somewhere else, right?
Yes, it is. I tell you what, it's hard to get away from baseball. So we're here at my facility in Coleman, Alabama. So baseball, it's hard to get it out of your life. Do it every day. I think every day since I was 3.
Well, I mean, it's like apple pie and it's American. So baseball it up. There are worse things that you can have in your blood. All right. As we are customary here, Ashley gets asked the first question. Ashley Marie Gorbulja, you're up to bat.
Hello.
See what I did there?
Hello. Yes, I did. We'll see how many strikes he gets today, Steve.
Hello.
We'll see. I'm going to start counting.
I have 2. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I want to lead with discussing your Major League Baseball career and some highlights, some memorable moments, right? You've been with the Milwaukee Brewers, Cleveland Indians, Texas Ranger, Boston Red Sox, Oakland, like all the above. I would love to know some of your highlights, ESPN style.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Here we go. It's pretty much. I mean, I lived every childhood dream. Anything a kid, anybody that plays baseball want to grow up and be a Major League Baseball player. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do that. And started my professional career. I got drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers. Graduated high school in 1994. From Hartselle, Alabama. I got drafted. Actually, I was going to the University of Tennessee to rewind a little bit. I decided to go to the University of Tennessee in November of my senior year, and then got drafted in the draft by the Milwaukee Brewers, who I was not actually expecting to draft me. I was expecting somebody else to draft me, but they just kind of came out of the woodworks, I guess, and got drafted 5th round. went straight into the minor leagues. And fortunate enough, I was only in the minor leagues for about 2.5 years, really, and was made it up to the big leagues at 22 years old. Just turned 22 years old, and get called up to the big leagues. And you know, kind of going back a little bit, growing up, some people that I idolized or, you know, heroes, Roger Clemens, or Hershiser were two of my favorite players growing up. You know, when I was a young kid, junior high school, and I was fortunate enough. I tell you, my first game in the big leagues, I pitched against Roger Clemens. So found out I got called up going to pitch. I pitched against Toronto, and I actually pitched the first game of a day-night doubleheader, and Roger Clemens was pitching for the Blue Jays. So, you know, I can never forget my mom's, you know, like, you know, look, hey, you're going up against Clemens. You know, we know you're going to lose, but you're going up against Clemens. And, you know, by the end of the day, you know, it's one of those historic moments, and held a major league record for a long time. I went to 8 innings, 1 hit, struck out 12, and ended up beating Roger Clemens 1-0 my very first start in the big leagues. And so I guess it's pretty much all downhill from there. So, but no, I was fortunate enough, you know, I got a chance to pitch against him. And then, you know, I was in Milwaukee for several years, and I got traded in 2000, I think it was, on the trading deadline. I got traded to Cleveland. So I was in Cleveland for 2 years with some very, very good teams and some very, very good players, and went to playoffs both years. And guys that are actually in the Hall of Fame now, you know, Jim Thome and guys like that, Roberto Alomar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of those other guys probably will end up being in the Hall of Fame one day. But you know, fortunate enough to be on some very, very good teams there, and then left with John Hart, which was the GM there in Cleveland, left and went to Texas. So I followed John to Texas and went to Texas in 2002, and then Boston in 2003, which was the year got beat go to the World Series by the Yankees. And, you know, then you remember the Yankees ended up winning, or actually Boston ended up winning it the next year. In 2004 was the first year they won the World Series in a very, very long time. So
They broke the curse that year.
broke the curse. You know, and it's funny. I was watching a thing on David Ortiz last night. You know, about I think it was on Fox, Legends of the Fall or something. It was a very, very good show talking about his career, and you know, him being the guy that reversed that curse and everything. So was very fortunate enough to have him as a teammate, and you know, a lot of great times. I tell you, baseball's carried me a lot of different places.
Well, I've kind of a controversial question.
Yes, sir.
Holly's squirming a little bit because she doesn't know where she doesn't know where I'm gonna go.
As am I.
You can choose to answer this or not. You may lose some fans, or we may lose some listeners. But which baseball park has the best hot dog?
That's hot dog, Dodger Stadium, no doubt.
Whoa!
Yeah, Dodger
That was
Stadium.
quick out the gate with that one.
That
Okay.
was like you were like boom.
Yeah, Dodger Stadium by far. And I'm not a huge hot dog person, but I would at Dodger Stadium. Yeah. But I went there, grew up a Dodger fan, actually. And that's part of, went there when I was younger. And then when I was in high school, I had a chance to go there my senior year. And then going back and playing there, they always had hot dogs and stuff. We get them in the clubhouse and everything. So very, very good place.
Nice. All right, that was my transition question. I got that out of the way. So your career, you had your career, but the best part of your whole baseball career was playing little league with Legion Baseball, right?
Yeah, playing. I mean, growing up, just playing. Just playing baseball. You know, having your dad coach and around my dad. My dad coached me all the way up. It didn't matter if it was basketball, baseball, whatever. But my dad coached me, and you know, all the way up. And so I started playing American Legion Baseball where I was from. I was able to play it for 2 years when I was in high school, and that's how I kind of got to know all these guys. You know, Steve Cloud and some of these guys that there with American Legion that brought me in to start being, you know, an analyst for ESPN, doing some games for the American Legion during the World Series. But American Legion brought me into, you know, just getting to meet a lot of different players. We played a lot of games. We played like 60 games. I remember my junior year in high school, and a lot of games. It was very competitive. But, you know, and you talk about now, you know, you talk about what's the difference in American Legion Baseball and this travel baseball, I guess what everybody calls travel baseball, or, you know, and I think American Legion Baseball, if you pay attention to it and you watch it, and if you've had a chance to see it, you know, on ESPN during the series, it's more of a team game. I mean, it's not very individualized, and and that just it goes back to speak about all the military guys and everything being a team, a team effort, and everybody's got. I think it was I was trying to remember Jody Moeller. I think they're at this series, which is one of the American Legion staffs. He said this point. He said, "You always look out for the guy on your right." When you're in the military. I was not in the military, but it was something that I always caught him when he was talking to all these players. You pay attention. You take care of the guy on your right, and he's going to take care of his guy on the right. So, you learn to do all these things that help each other and it becomes a team game. And I think American Legion is more of a team game than all the other baseball we play. I
can actually hear your voice doing commentary with that. I'm in LA right now, and I apologize for the way that they went out for you. I did hear something about your hometown's American Legion baseball team this year. Was there some news?
Well, I played
this year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah. Well, it's not from my hometown, but from the state of Alabama, Troy, Alabama. Yeah, Troy, Alabama. It was their first time there, and I forgot how many years. I didn't go back and look at my notes, but very, very long time. But Troy, Alabama ended up pulling it out. It was a very, very good game, and ended up pulling it out and winning the first World Series they've won in a very, very, very long time. And well, actually, the first one they'd ever won, first time they had been there in a very long time. And
they broke the curse.
Yes, broke the curse. I tell you, Alabama. But it was kind of ironic for Alabama to end up there in the finals and have the chance to be able to call that game and being a part of it. Very good group of guys, and I'm able to actually get to know all these guys, all these coaches, and you develop relationships with them, and you see them grow and become, you become winners like this team. I mean, it was amazing.
And I'm sure you were unbiased.
Very, very unbiased.
When you were calling the game.
I try to be there, Jeff. I try to be unbiased, but it's very hard sometimes.
I think your accent gives you away with who you're rooting for.
Idaho Falls actually won the American Legion World Series the last 2 years, and 2 years in a row, and they was the ones playing Alabama. So, and I've become very, very good friends with the Idaho Falls guys and team and players that have been there, been back, and this and that. So it was kind of, it was one of those things where I wanted Alabama to win, I wanted Idaho Falls to win. It ended up being just a great game, and very proud of all those kids and coaches.
Nice.
Well, I feel like this kind of leans into my question, because I wanted to kind of get a deeper dive into what you like so much about being an analyst for American Legion, or excuse me, what's the acronym? It's ALWS, right?
Yeah.
Broadcast.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Question, yeah.
Yeah, so I would love to know, what you love about being an analyst and, doing the broadcast work, because I feel like I'm listening to the entire commentary right now. I'm like,
yeah,
I think I'm there.
Well, no, I tell you what, it's easy when because all I've done is ever play baseball, so it's easy to talk about baseball. But the fun part to me is just getting to know everybody. I think when I go in and I start doing interviews with coaches and players, and you start learning a lot about their lives and how they got there. What they come up from. Maybe they've had some disasters in their hometown. Maybe they've had, and I mean, it's just getting to know every kid and all the coaches. And honestly, I sat down and I think I talked to 5 or 6 different teams this year, sat down for like an hour and let them, just got to know them and let them ask, Q&A questions and ask me things without any phones or anything around. And they, gave them where they could ask anything they wanted to ask. And, and you get to know a lot about a lot of the players and learn about some of their, their little quirks and the little, the little things that they do, and little, some of them have little side stories. I think this year there was one of the teams that was from Virginia. Actually, his mom had stage 3 breast cancer, and she had fought it and won it and beat it. And then he had a brother that had muscular sclerosis, and he ended up adopting his brother. And his kid's only 20 years old. And I mean, it's just amazing some of the stories that you come across and you see it's just different parts of the country, from Hawaii to, all the way to Florida to wherever, you meet a lot of people.
Sounds fantastic.
It is. It's fun.
I think it's an interesting note that I think this year every playoff team had a Legion Baseball alumni. Am I overstating that, Holly, or is that true? So coaches, general managers, when you're drafting people, I mean, I mean, only if you're interested in winning playoff games, you should probably draft people that have some Legion baseball experience, because, like you said, they're teaching some of the team and the character and the things like that, and they probably bring that to the clubhouse.
Yeah, and with you saying that, I want to say, if I remember correctly, I want to say that it's like nearly half of the players in the major leagues now have actually played American Legion baseball. So that was one of the things that kind of blow you away, because American Legion baseball is big across this country, and a lot of guys play it.
Well, we're trying to make it bigger. California is, we don't have a league in LA. We're trying. Judy's out there. When she's out raising money, her famous lines say yes or yes when she's asking for money. So we're trying to bring it out here, and your story is something that will help us sell it. I mean, I think they should make a movie about that first game of yours.
Well, I tell you what, I wish they would too, man. And I tell you what, you could direct. There we go. That'd be good. There you go.
And no. I would love to hear. I would love to hear you, if you get on YouTube, do just your innings pitching, and you do your own commentary.
I tell you what, I got one better for you right here. So, and me with you saying all that there. So Bob Uecker, which I mean everybody knows who Bob Uecker is. So Bob Uecker is the radio guy for the Milwaukee Brewers, and has been for 60 years or more probably. So Uecker, I have a tape of Uecker doing my first game in the big leagues, doing that game, and it's awesome. I mean, it was awesome with his commentary there in the back and listening to his voice, and then another little funny thing about that game is Roger Clemens, who I idolized. After the game, he come over to the clubhouse and knocks on the door. Got the clubhouse guy to get my jersey, told me, get me to come out, bring my jersey. He wanted to sign that jersey. So, and I have that jersey, to this day hanging in the house.
Wow.
That is so incredible. That's so special. Wow.
It is. It's cool.
Did Bob, you had such a good game. Bob Uecker didn't get to say just a bit outside. He didn't get to say that.
It's a good thing he didn't say that, because I might not ever pitch again. So.
That is awesome. Ashley, you got what do you got on deck? See what I did there?
Oh boy. Well, I did have one final question. I just wanted to differentiate between the travel teams and like why that's important for Legion baseball in particular.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've had this conversation a lot, and and I do have teams that travel teams and stuff like that. So not throwing all travel teams under the bus, but I've had this conversation with some of the American Legion people, trying to figure out how, I think Jeff was just talking about, how are you going to make American Legion better? How are you going to make American Legion bigger, to where you got all these teams, all these parts of the country that are going to be able to play and want to play American Legion baseball. And I think the confusion with a lot of people, where they get confused with American Legion baseball, these people grow up playing travel ball. They don't think they're going to get noticed. They don't think they're going to get the college coach or the scout or whatever to be able to see them play. And travel baseball is that, because you have all these showcases. You have showcases. You have all this stuff to where people come, and you can go, and there may be 5 colleges there watching you play, and I think they think that you would never get that with American Legion. But you go back and look at American Legion, and you see, like this year, you'd be surprised how many. I think I had over 20 colleges call or text me during this American Legion World Series this year, wanting to talk about kids and wanting to know what if I some information on kids, because they got noticed so much this year. I think more than ever this year they got noticed. So, a lot of times, in travel baseball, it's all about yourself. It's all about, you putting numbers up, whether it's how hard are you throwing, what's your 60 speed, what's your exit velocity off the bat, this, that. And I think we get sometimes, we start worrying too much about numbers rather than about who can play. And there was one of my good friends that's actually got the job, Casey McGee. Casey McGee has got the job now in Union, Tennessee at a college, and he played in the big leagues for about 10 years. And Casey called me after this World Series, and he said, "Hey, who do you have that you work with that can play?" He goes, "I care less about numbers. Who can play?" So I shot him a video of a couple of guys, and and guys like that, they see a video of a kid and they see him and they're like, "Oh my gosh, this kid can play." And they don't have to know about numbers. They don't have to know all this stuff. So I think we get caught up a lot of times in that and the analytics of baseball, and I think that's taken away a lot of baseball and how it's changed over the last 10 years maybe. But I love American Legion Baseball. I'd never be where I'm at today and never would have had a chance to be able to play in the big leagues, I don't think. And so I owe a lot to American Legion Baseball, and and we owe a lot to our, like we say, our military, and for just being able to be able to just get out on the baseball field and be able to play.
All right. Well, I have some. We have at the end of our show, we call it rapid fire, but for you, I'm going to call it batting practice. Some. See, there you go.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Did you ever strike out Derek Jeter?
I do not know. That's a great question.
All right, because he's from my hometown and my rival high school, and I want you to have gotten him. Okay.
Oh my.
Before accidentally, not on purpose, but I tell you what, if you've never seen The Captain before, those series, I tell you what, amazing series. I tell you what.
Yeah. Good. Okay. But you played against him.
Played against Derek. Yeah, I played against
Probably beat him.
Yes, I've beat him before, but I know, I don't know.
Give me something. I know girls that dated him. Give me something.
I love it. I struck him out. There you go.
And you do it again for charity. Challenge on, Derek Jeter.
I'm getting ready for my own 7th inning stretch. Y'all are just too much. I'll have to...
Oh, did she finally pull out a pun?
I did pull out a pun. All
right.
I'm going to bunt it to you.
All right. Because you're an analyst, super producer Holly actually chimed in a question. You have a World Series pick.
Actually, I picked the Phillies to win this about right as soon as they got in. Before they played the Cardinals, I picked the Phillies to win it just because they're so hot right now. And it's so crazy. These wild card teams that come in over the last few years, everybody's so hot when they come in, playing so good to try to make it in. Phillies.
Well, that's outstanding. Okay. So you favorite city to play in?
Love Chicago.
That's right. I lived in Wrigleyville. I lived in Wrigleyville.
The longest run in Wrigley Field history too. So there you go.
I love that. And do we have any more batting practice from anybody? Just like a quick one answer, one sentence.
Go
for it.
Go to concession outside of a hot dog. Like what's your go-to?
I tell you what, Philadelphia cheesesteaks.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good choice. Yep, we have to go now because I'm hungry.
Or LA. Go to Anaheim and what is it? Whataburger? Or no?
We have In-N-Out. We have In-N-Out here.
In-N-Out burger. There you go.
We do not have Whataburger. I would like that, but Whataburger, please come to Los Angeles.
Alabama. So yeah.
Oh, you have that in Alabama. Nice. So there we go. So I was going to ask you to do this, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to put the man on the spot. I was going to have you do a post-game evaluation of our performance today here on Tango Alpha Lima.
I tell you what, I tell you what, when you can have fun and talk about baseball and laugh and joke around, I tell you what, it's a wonderful job. 10 out of 10, man. It was great. I loved it.
Well, that's almost like a Yahoo 5 stars. Highly recommend. I like that a lot. Thank you so much. I'm hoping that game, or just the pitching part of that first game, is on YouTube, because I've never seen it. I want to see a young buck who can't shave go out there and play against his idol and put on a great performance. You had to be. I mean, I would have had urine on the mound if I was in that situation. That is outstanding.
I was in a dream world, I tell you.
Wow.
That's all Ashley says to me sometimes as well. Then I know I've done
Yeah.
my job.
He's done
Thank
it.
you. Thank you so much. You hit an inside the park home run here, which is a pitcher you probably had never did. But you did it here today. And we appreciate you, your continued efforts with Legion Baseball, and the fact that we can talk about you as having grown up in Legion Baseball. And big thanks to whichever posts out there supported you and all over Alabama when you were playing.
Post 52, actually. Post 52, Hartselle, Alabama.
Oh, he remembered your number, Hartsville. So that proves he had a great experience with Post 52 in Hartsville, Alabama. And they're going to get some tagging love here from Holly, I'm sure. Thank you to them and to you and everybody that supported you and people that you're supporting now. And much luck in whatever you do next with your facility. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023, look out. He's coming at you.
It's coming in hot.
He's coming in hot. He's throwing a fastball for you, and get ready.
Jeff, Ashley, thank y'all.
A veteran is a veteran.
A veteran is a veteran.
A veteran is a veteran.
The American Legion embraces all current and former members of the military and endeavors to help them transition into their communities.
We are Veterans Strengthening America.
We are the American Legion.
All right, Ashley, we're here in the post-game report. I'm looking over the stat sheet and I'm wondering what it is you took away from today's game.
First of all, I love baseball. Baseball is one of my favorite sports to watch, to be present at. It's brings me a lot of pleasant memories. So it's always really nice to see folks who, like Steve, right, who has made his entire career out of this, and now he's continuing this in tandem, woven string of Legion inspiration. And I think it really can use I think it can really mean a lot to youth who are in baseball, and just those that participate across the country at our posts. It's an important program, and it's just something that the American Legion is known for, and a lot of people don't actually know. Like, we know it, but some people don't know it. So it's nice to have such an ambassador as Steve to promote what we're doing.
I think one of my takeaways was this guy, he comes up, he's a kid, he's playing against one of his idols, and he has an amazing record-breaking first game, by the way. So young, could have become an arrogant, hard to be around kind of guy. He's like, I've been up here like 7 minutes and I got this thing figured out. But he has this character in his being, and I believe that's part of it, but he also has this character in his game. And I think, as he described, the character in the game was nurtured by American Legion Baseball, the way that they don't just teach the fundamentals of mechanics of playing the game, they teach the team aspect, the looking out for the person next to you, the character stuff. And again, I'll say, I think if I was building a Major League Baseball team and all other things considered equal, I would draft somebody that had Major League experience. All right, enough for my unpaid, unrequested advice for Major League executives across America. Detroit, you should listen, because you ain't been that good lately. So maybe take that.
Shots fired.
Those are my boys, but come on, Motor City, let's get around those bases. All right, we're gonna be that's scary enough for Halloween. The state of Detroit sports is freaking spooky, and I'm hoping this scary movie ends soon and turns into a buddy comedy. That would be amazing. We are going to now go into our favorite part of the show. I don't know, you ready?
I feel like this is a 3 strikes you're out kind of situation, because I know we got some stories ready. Locked and loaded.
Strikes, though. Ready. Aww. And pew 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 pew. Rapid fire. Or should I go rapid
Pit
fire?
fire. Ooh, spooky. Ah.
And amazingly, none of these are actually spooky. I didn't
No, they're
follow
not.
the theme. Rapid fire number one: Coast Guard seizes 29 millions of narcotics in Gulf of Oman or Oman, one of the two.
Oman.
The U.S. Coast Guard cutter Charles Moulthrope seized roughly $29 million worth of illicit narcotics during a patrol in the Gulf of Oman, just weeks after confiscating roughly $85 million in heroin in the same waters. The Navy's ramped up presence in the Fifth Fleet in the past years has resulted in significantly more weapons and illicit drug seizures. I didn't know weapons had seizures. Oh, they meant taking. The cutter, which was operating as part of the Combined Task Force 150, found 2,980 kilograms of opium, 400 kilograms of methamphetamines aboard a fishing vessel on October 12th. The cutter also seized 2,410 kilograms of heroin on a fishing ship September 27th. Those are waters I don't want to be in. They found all these drugs in those same waters. Dangerous swimming, dangerous coast guarding. And I did put a link for the notes into what is still my most favorite badass Coast Guard when they boarded that partially.
Yeah, that was nice to watch
partially
again.
That smug drugging thing, and he's pounding on the thing. He doesn't know what's going to happen.
Get out of there. You're mine.
So what do you think?
Coast Guard.
U.S. Coast Guard.
We're here.
What do you think of what do you think of these stories about the Coast Guard?
I think like they need to be more mainstream. Like folks don't always understand the Coast Guard. They are an elusive branch. And I think there's some like paranormal activity happening in my basement right now. There's just I'm hearing noises. Anyway,
it's
that's besides the point.
It's puppy normal.
It is. You should see the activity going on right now. They've never been this active during a show. But I do digress. I do believe that the Coast Guard is this elusive ghost, if you will. If we're going to stay on Halloween theme. And many people don't realize what they do and what they stop inevitably is this giant narcotics, like illicit narcotics, like $29 million worth. Like that's insane.
Right?
That's insane.
And I gotta tell you, those guys, if you watch the video, those guys in that little partially submerged submarine thingy, they were more scared than they've ever been on Halloween. Some crazy nut pounding on the door in the middle of the ocean. Like, what the heck's going on?
Zero care in the world. Does not matter what happens. That video by far is
they shouldn't even have a recruiting budget.
That should be the video.
All they should do is play that video. I'm just saying. I'm still gonna call them puddle pirates and shallow water rescuers, and I can't help it. I have to do it.
It hurts.
Now my buddy Brian Smith, Bryon, Bryon, he spells it that way. He's coastie, and he will love this. And obviously our past department commander. I don't know that many coasties, but the ones I do are quite active in the Legion.
You know what? I know a significant amount of Coast Guard
James
women
Baca.
veterans.
Oh, I did know. I think I have called him a puddle pirate to his face. Yeah, and he fed me crayons. So
that's so cute. What a beautiful exchange. I wish I could have been there for that.
You were close. It was a boys' nation. All right, rapid fire number pew pew two. I should say pew pew two. All right, burn pit registry is failing to help track vet illnesses, experts say. We'll see if Ashley's allowed to comment on this one. The nearly decade-old Veteran Affairs Registry to track burn pit illnesses and help veterans get care for these injuries is achieving neither of those goals, according to research from independent health experts who are recommending major changes to the effort. Our findings conclude that there are no refinements or improvements that will allow the registry to serve as a population health surveillance system, said Kristen Olson, Director of Sociological Research at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and a member of the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine Committee analyzing the registry. Because there's no way for registry participants to update their health information, there is no way for the registry to accomplish the goal or even to monitor health patterns over time. Can you comment, and do you have a comment?
My personal opinion, you know, there's plenty of government contractors that could build a health surveillance system. It can be done. It just needs to be shifted and prioritized, in my personal opinion. If it's something that we have to be able to update, then just take the efforts and the right step to just make it updatable. It's not, I don't perceive it as an overly large task, considering that I'm sure there's different softwares that are being used, right? Who knows? But it's still pretty early on, as everything's kind of
decade old.
I know it's not. I know that. But with the PACT Act and some other stuff coming up, I imagine.
They got some money.
I'm hoping.
Got some money for this.
Yeah, that's my hope, is that we can wrap some of these like projects together, right? That's what we hope. Being a good steward of dollars.
What you're saying is Kristen ain't wrong.
She's probably not.
Kristen,
wrong.
you ain't wrong, is what we're gonna say.
There's always work to be done.
We're moving on. And that's the most PC you'll see, Ashley, is when it has to do with the VA. She's like tiptoeing around things. That's cool.
La-da-da-da-dee. That's spooky. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All right. Rapid fire number 3.
Ooh.
All right. I have long been, for at least a couple months, a champion of
the Sun?
No, the Legion Town. Now and I take credit. The stories have been getting better. I mean, yeah, some other people like National Commander may have requested that people send things there, but I'm taking credit because I've long lambasted that when people don't even say who submitted it. Simple basics. I can't use it if you don't take credit for your work, people. I have to give you credit. So the American Legion website is now following the path of Jeff Daly and touting Legion Town. Share your Be the One story, says the American Legion. American Legion posts and members are demonstrating that they are fully engaged with the new initiative, Be the One. The American Legion's efforts aimed to eliminate the stigma associated with mental health, wellness, and in turn, reduce the rate of veteran suicide. Take, for example, Casey Nash, the 1st District Commander in the Department of Georgia. Nash shared her story of how she turned survival into helping others. To share your story, visit Legion Town's webpage and choose the Be the One category. Do you ever go to Legion Town? I'm just curious. You can say no. Yeah. Who else am I talking to? She's pointing at herself if you're not looking.
I am pointing at myself.
You talking to?
Occasionally, not always.
Talking to me?
I think you frequent more. You're a frequent flyer. I'm not.
I've actually
have the mile
submitted
points
to it before.
Oh, well.
I submitted early. Because I was kind of crazy. I came in, I think I wrote something 6 months in. I think I gave a 6-month Legion membership report of the stuff that I'd done and seen and experienced. Yeah. Yeah,
You're
I'm that
so
guy.
cute. I love when you get excited. You're so cute.
Holly is like ranting and raving on me. This is
She's on something. She's on one.
It's the best way.
She's on something. We have to send the Coast Guard her way.
And then I put the picture. Oh, there's a little Ray-Ban. We referenced past Commander Ray-Ban, and there's his offspring. She's on the picture of this story. So if you read the Legion story, you'll know who she is. And Hillary Ott took the photo. We know Hillary. She's on super producer Holly's team. She's a photo wizard. Yes.
Ooh, yes, magic.
Right.
Sauce.
We are ready to go out. Do you have any shout outs? Because I have one if you don't.
I don't, but I am excited for your shout out. Go on.
I had a shout out just yesterday for those of you listening in real time. That was a week ago. But yesterday I went to the screening of a documentary and I got invited through Veterans Media and Entertainment, one of the veterans organizations that our Post partners with, and we have a lot of cross members. Went to see this documentary called Wildcat. This is a veteran. He's a British veteran, but a veteran. And when he got out, he went to the jungle not to come back. He went to the jungle to basically end it. And he says the jungle and these ocelots changed his life. He met a woman there. He stayed in the jungle. It's a rescue effort. So they rescue them, and then they raise them up to about 18 months or something, and then they release them back out. They have to teach them everything, how to hunt, what's food, what isn't food. And it's amazing. They have cameras attached to trees. He's wearing cameras. It's actually a really powerful story, and the people associated with it. I think the woman who's promoting it, I think half of the things she's worked on, so this is her selection process, have been nominated for either an Oscar or an Emmy. And this is coming out on Amazon Prime and at the end of December. And I would say to and I supplied the link. So that's my shout out to Harry, who is the main character. I don't remember his last name, but I met him. He came here to promote it, and he's the real deal, man. And you see him go through some stuff, some personal stuff on this, and how the cats and everything really, really helped him. And I know you're a dog person, but I think you'd like this, Ashley.
Yeah, I've got my hellhounds here. They're graciously observing me today.
Okay.
But I'm all about it. I'm all about a great documentary. So
all right. So
check it out.
So we can get out of here sometime before December, so we can make sure to watch this. Why don't you take us home?
Oakley dokley. All about it.
Ooh.
Oh, aha. So don't forget to subscribe. Excuse me. Sorry, I was trying to practice what it would be like to have vampire faith. No, I'm just kidding.
In the age of COVID, that's probably the scariest sound you can make.
Anywho, don't forget to subscribe to the Tango Alpha Lima podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you consume your podcasts. Keep it with podcasts, all right, all my goblins and ghouls. Please leave us a review and give us a big old 5-star rating so the world knows how much you love us. And if you have a guest recommendation, go to legion.org/Tango Alpha Lima and click on the suggest a guest link. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right, Alphas, I'm going to tell you something before we leave here. The other day I was walking around the streets in West Hollywood, the scary streets of West Hollywood, and I realized I was an alpha surrounded by a bunch of betas. I don't want that for your life. Share the podcast and convert all of your normal, regular people into alphas. Your life will be better, your world will be safer, and people will annoy me a lot less because there will be more alphas out there who know what the heck is going on in the world. So with that, I'm going to thank you all for being here today. I've got to scroll all the way up to see our episode number, because I can't. It's one. All right, just like the highway I used to drive in Michigan. Episode 131 is mission complete, and that's the end of our story.